Still playing with the hair. Hey, good evening, Thandeka. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I'm well. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Good evening and
Fantastic.
welcome, everyone. For all of you joining us across all of our social media platforms, my name is Anjani Hajivan. I'm the COO at WomHub, and it's an absolute pleasure to be here with you this evening. And with me on today's live stream is Thandeka Jali. I'm so thrilled to have her. She's one of our incredible founders on our Economic Growth Accelerator, which we're going to tell you a little bit about as we kind of talk through her journey, but also more importantly around how we grow when we come together. And so thank you so much for being here with me this evening, Thandeka. I can see that you're in KZN and obviously the cold is getting to you guys there, whereas here in Gauteng, we're still feeling it's just fresh. It's not cold yet. How you doing?
Listen, we get a maximum of 16 degrees, and it's like Jesus must be coming back. Like, no, this can't be real. So today wasn't bad. It was at least we peaked at 20 degrees. We were like, oh, thank you, Lord Jesus. At least we can see the sun. But it's been rough the past couple of days. But yeah, the temperature seems to drop in the evening now. But it's not, honestly, I'm sure it's not as bad as the rest of the country. So I'm not complaining. But we're
Awesome.
good. We're nice and warm.
Great, great. Thank you. So we've got quite a few people joining us across our various social media platforms. We're live today, Thandeka, on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. And so to all of you that have joined us, please feel free to share your comments. We'll keep an eye on the comments as we go forward with the conversation. And following this live stream, you'll also be able to find the saved conversation if you want to go back and watch it later. But I think, Thandeka, let's get stuck straight in. As I said, you're one of our incredible founders on a WomHub accelerator called the Economic Growth Accelerator. But let's take a step back and talk a bit about you. Tell us a little bit about your journey and what inspired you to start your particular business.
Sure. I mean, the year was 2015. I'm sitting on my bed. I just delivered, and I'm being given this bundle of joy. And it's like, okay, you need to feed this person. And I took my son. I started breastfeeding him, and milk wasn't coming out. Which, okay, I still thought, okay, normal. We'd be okay. Let's just keep pushing and trying. We tried everything. Then milk started coming out, but it wasn't enough. And that was my struggle. I mean, we were also, you know, kept in because my son kind of had a little bit of jaundice. So they were monitoring him and making sure that obviously it doesn't get worse because he was dehydrated. So I started looking around, just checking, because obviously when you have a problem, you ask Dr. Google. And Dr. Google actually said to me, listen, there is such a thing called low milk production. So this is when you just cannot produce an adequate supply for a feed. So I found that about 30% of women globally actually have this problem. And I didn't, honestly, it was a shock to me because I honestly thought that breastfeeding is natural. I honestly thought that I'd be able to actually just do it because I'd seen women around me do it. And like, just easy. Like, I didn't think, it would be such a challenge. And so I remember just sitting and thinking, sure, I actually struggled to nourish my son because breastfeeding for me was important. And I wondered, like, are there other women like me out there? Are there other women who would probably have the same experience, but maybe not get the support, or maybe need the support, or even the education around that? And that's essentially how the business started, where it was just, I wanted to ensure that I provide a solution for women who desperately want to nourish their children, who desperately want to make sure that they actually breastfeed. It's not to say that there aren't solutions out there. There were. It's just, the majority that I tried was not that effective for me. And so when I just doing some research on the different things that I could put together, I was then able to formulate this particular product that is now that ended up helping me with my second born, So that's really how the business started. It started from a problem I had, and only to find that, other women also struggle with it.
Fantastic. And so Lactease was born, which is the name of your business.
Yeah.
Tell us very
Yes.
briefly what does Lactease offer, given that that was the problem you were trying to solve?
Awesome. So Lactease, actually, the name is it's an abbreviation for lactate with ease, because that was the desire behind it. Like, I wanted to lactate with ease, no panic, no stressing out on whether or not I'd be able to produce milk. So we actually, our core business is the manufacturing of a breastfeeding tonic that enhances the production of breast milk. And so we also offer just breastfeeding support to moms who are coming through and are saying, I'm trying to breastfeed, but I don't have enough milk. And how do I do it? So obviously we would offer the solution, which is the breastfeeding tonic, but we also offer them advice just on how do you latch, what does a correct latch looks like, positioning your baby, and basically preparing them for success, even when just before they give birth or even after, to kind of help them with this journey. Again, as I said, we think it is natural, and so we don't really focus so much on it. I attended antenatal classes, and honestly, I think that our lesson was literally a combination of a lot of things. And breastfeeding, this is what you do, Whereas I felt like, that's interesting, for something that's this challenging, it doesn't really get much airtime, So that's what Lactease does. We give airtime to breastfeeding.
Amazing. And I must say, as a mother myself, although it was a while ago now, you're right, it's one of the things that we don't talk about, and something you feel should come so easily to you, and something that's not given a lot of airtime, right?
No, thanks, and it's so true, actually.
Yeah. And so then just under a year ago, you found yourself thrown into an opportunity to really grow and scale and think about what's next for Lactease as you joined the Womb Hub Economic Growth Accelerator, which is a year-long development journey for you, I think. And Thandeka, I've gotten to know you really well over the time that the programs run. For those of you who don't know, I'm the program director at Womb Hub for the program. And I must say, you've really taken the program by the horns in terms of all it's able to offer. But talk to us about that experience and what aspects of the program you have found most valuable.
It's interesting that you are the one that's having this conversation with me, because I think the first aha moment I had was with the session that you were facilitating on, the problem. Can we talk about the problem that you are solving? What is it? What are the root causes? And we looked at the cause and effect. We did the cause and effect exercise. And I remember that even I just laughed, because even when I did the application for this program, I still didn't articulate my problem as well as I did when we sat down that day and we looked at what is the problem that you're addressing. Because I think sometimes, we all come with well-meaning ideas, business ideas. And again, it's not to say they have no place. They all have a place, but we struggle to articulate. And so as such, we lose traction and interest that we could get from potential clients. And it was the same for me, where I just could not articulate I knew what it was. I knew that this is what I experienced, but it felt so personal, instead of this huge problem that I'm actually addressing, which is, 45% of infants die annually due to malnutrition. And one of the causes is that moms they struggle to breastfeed, because this milk doesn't come out. And so they end up looking for solutions that are not helpful, solutions that are not so nutritious for the infants. So then that ends up causing problems. So I remember sitting there, and then we went through that exercise, and I had that aha moment, and I thought, my goodness, this is it. It's a global problem, but there's actually even more. We are looking at 45% human beings not making it annually because of this problem, So just to be able to come up with that and be able to communicate that, for me, was big, There've been so many, though. There've been so many sessions where I had aha moments. And I think the one was communicating with a purpose, or for a purpose. Like, what are you saying to people? Why are you saying that to people? What are you trying to get out of people? What story are you sending across, and what reaction are you hoping to get out of that? And to be able to sit in that session and think, and it wasn't so much the story, but just about myself as a person. Like, who am I? What is my story? And being able to take all the facets or all these, incredible experiences that I've had and put them together in this one story that will go across to the next person so that they can connect with who I am, and therefore connecting with the business, so that was incredible. And and also just being able to be surrounded by women who are doing the most, women who are just like, I'm not sleeping, I'm waking up tomorrow. It's not easy, it is tough, I'm going to get up and do it. So I think that's one of the incredible things that this program has actually done, where you've brought women from all different, within the STEM sector, and you've brought them together with different backgrounds, different products or services, but we've come together to become just this one cluster and this one family where you can pick up the phone and there's an active WhatsApp group. Hey guys, this is what I'm looking for. Hey guys, do you have information for this? And then you'll get an answer because you've just got a tribe that's supporting you. I think for me that's one of just the most incredible. And in fact, that's one of the top reasons why I applied for the program, because I just said I want to belong to like a tribe of women that will inspire me, because entrepreneurship can feel lonely, but it's better when you're walking the journey with other women who in their own capacity or in their own space, they're going through it, but they're still fighting, they're still showing up every single day. So I think for me, that's one of the things that I am taking out of this experience that I've really, really appreciated.
Wonderful. And hopefully those are going to remain long-term relationships, right? Not only with the founders on your cohort, but with WOMHub as well.
Of course, your family now. Not shaking us off that easy.
I'm going to take a minute. Just there's quite a few comments coming through, so we've got some great greetings. Tandeka Gregory says good evening, and Kweba says well done, Tandeka, amazing story. And then Wandile posted great discussion indeed. I have 2 kids, both breastfed. It's challenging but a beautiful experience. I'm glad to hear that there's a product that addresses the challenge of moms who don't have enough breast milk. Kudos to you, Tandeka, and the team. So that's really awesome.
Thank you.
But I think coming back to the program and your experience, we've spoken quite a bit around the masterclasses and, of course, the tribe. And we speak a lot about the tribe as we go through your journey. But I know that you personally had a really great experience around the mentorship and the venture clinics. Talk to us about that aspect of it. Did you find that partnership and that kind of mentorship and coaching helped you as you kind of navigated through this growth journey?
Sure, totally. I think, again, I'm loving that you are on this call, because I came to you and I said, so Erin, will we have people that are going to hold our hands and walk the journey with us? Because really for me, it was just about having someone who has had experience in the field that I'm in and the journey that I'm walking, who's going to hold my hand. So just speaking on the mentor, just the relationship there, for me, it was so helpful, because I was fortunate enough to have been in a room where the mentor was facilitating a workshop. And I remember sitting there and thinking, my goodness, this person is so knowledgeable. And I honestly believe that she will add so much value to where the business is now and kind of where I'm going and where I want to go. So that then became my thing. Like, I obsessed over, this woman must just be my mentor somehow, or I'm going to attend her venture clinics, whatever it takes, and it worked out that way. So I think what was helpful for me was doing my research on the mentor that I needed to mentor me, and just being able to identify kind of what were my needs and can this person help me, with growing kind of where I am. And just also learning to not take things personal in that relationship. Like, this person is just coming on board to support and help and give you whatever tips and advice to kind of help you move forward. So don't get out of your head, and listen to the input that they're giving you and see is it something that I need to take on, or is it something that I maybe just need to let go of? Or what does this mean? Maybe I'll park it and look at it 6 months down the line. Maybe just right now is not the time. So being able to kind of learn through that experience and have someone who has years in manufacturing or of experience in manufacturing, and just have them take me through like each process, which has really, really helped. I remember there was a conversation that we had with my mentor where she said, what do you think your product's weaknesses are? So I was like, my product works. It's effective. Yeah. I don't think there are problems. But yeah, you know, you can tell me what you think the problems are, you know. And so there were a few things like, you know, we don't know about this product. It's new. Like, how can you assure the buyer, you know, the person's purchasing the product, that they can actually trust the product? And at that time, we had a different kind of packaging that was just plain. It said nothing, you know. So people would see the company name, but like, it's like, what is to lactase? And I'm like, lactation, lactation tonic. And people are still like, but what is lactating, you know? And so being able to break it down to a point where even a person is looking at this product on the shelves, they're able to pick it up and say, oh, I see this is a breastfeeding tonic, you know? So to have those conversations and actually end up putting those changes and seeing how just even that alone changed the way that we positioned the product, the way that we marketed the product, because of how clear and concise the messaging is on the packaging. So that was really, really helpful. And I think just showing up and being like, what do you have for me? Let me hear what you've got, and writing it down. I was very clear about that. It wasn't going to be, I was very clear about, I'm here to get as much information as I possibly can from you, and applying it on my business and seeing how that helps with the growth of my business, you know. So that was really helpful for me. And venture clinics have been amazing. You know, I think what we sometimes may take for granted, just purely because as entrepreneurs in South Africa, there's so much information that's floating around, right? Like, there'll be a course here, this company is calling for this, and there's just so many different things, like where people are offering information and master classes. So you can literally sit there and kind of feel like, you know, because it's information overload, and you end up not appreciating the fact that this is the person that's speaking has had years and years of sweat equity in whatever topic that they're talking about. And the least you could do is just sit and take as much as you possibly can, because you don't need to make the mistakes that they've made, or you don't need to actually take a different route when someone is already, you know, sharing their experience. So I think for me, that's really what I took from the venture clinics, that it's people who have come with so much experience that are sharing with us, you know, and just being able to take that and saying, okay, this is something that I need to take and apply in my business. You know, I think the last session that we had on scaling, it was shocking for me to realize that I could be a bottleneck in my business, just my mental space and how I think about things. That too could be a bottleneck, you know. And I was like, oh my goodness, girl, you really need to step out of your head. You sure? You know, so those for me have really just been powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for sharing. And I think what I also take away from your experiences is that you've also got to do the work, right? It's also about how prepared you are for these opportunities and what you want to get out of them. And we find on our programs that the entrepreneurs who are focused and clear and have that energy and passion just thrive on the program, because they come prepared with that thirst and the hunger to kind of go, yes, you know, this is what I'm looking for, and I've done the prep work. And I think that's what you said. I love Wandile's comments. She says she'd love to refer your product to someone within her network. So please, will you inbox her so she can get in touch with you? And we will share Thandeka's business just now.
Awesome.
But thank you, Wandile. And she says she's actually breastfeeding right now, which is so awesome. So that counts as 2 viewers on the stream. So that's incredible. Thanks so much.
Awesome. We're proud of you. We love breastfeeding moms.
Exactly. Absolutely. So Thandeka, kind of coming back to the business, obviously, you've got all the support, but the reality is, and I think you mentioned it as being a South African entrepreneur, is that it's challenging, right? And you're creating, as you mentioned, people see this product, it's a new product, you're an independent, a new entrepreneur, and you're entering business in one of the most challenging economic climates, right? Talk to us a bit about your challenges and some of the hurdles which have kind of come into your path. And how have you overcome some of these challenges as you take your product to market?
Sure. I think people that are, product-based businesses, when they hear me say MOQ, they're going to say, oh my goodness, because it's like the thorn in our flesh, right? Because and again, I understand, but I'm a small business and I am trying to get, let me just, sorry, 2 seconds. So I'm trying to get someone to manufacture sachets for me, right? Or a packaging, maybe just some packaging that I desire for my product. And then I'm told, no, babes, listen, you need to order 15,000 or 18,000 packets of these, and we don't do less. And then you're thinking to yourself, okay, that's going to cost me 20 grand for X amount. I don't even have 20% of that clientele at the moment. I just have a few, and I really just want to obviously gain traction and start selling this product. So it becomes like a catch-22, because you want the product to go out there, but it's almost like there's an assumption that the product has to have gone out there, or you somehow need to have money or capital that comes from who knows where in order for you to be able to purchase or buy this particular service. And again, as I said in the beginning, I understand as well the supplier's position, because for them to print maybe one batch costs X amount. And so they need to be able to get, that money back. So we all in it to make the money, right? But that is such a challenge, because you actually end up not maybe getting the desired sort of packaging or the aesthetic that you're looking for, because it's just expensive, or it's just expensive to get to. So for example, this is our current packaging, right? But I would absolutely love this to be in a full printed sachet where you don't really see the product and it's just looking nice and the aesthetic is great and it's in a nice box. But unfortunately, because of the numbers, I can't yet, so those are challenges, I think, for small businesses where we have to find alternatives that may not necessarily speak to kind of the direction of the brand and where you're wanting to take the brand, and kind of how the visibility of the brand and how you want it to look. But you just have to somehow make a plan, right, in order for you to obviously get the product out there. Because the honest truth is, it's the product that needs to get out there. And being able to get it out there. So it's logistics companies as well. You are just one person. You are busy sending like 2 boxes each week. Like, what is that? Like, you're wasting our time. Like, we're not going to give you this rate, the rate that maybe other companies, big companies would have. So for me, I find that, just starting out is a challenge in that aspect, that, you already for you're not making enough, yet you're being charged way more than the businesses that are already kind of bringing in the money, So those are real challenges. And I understand. And I'm in the agro processing sector, where, again, it's still a growing industry. So like, if you're looking for a product or an ingredient, it costs an arm and a leg. Again, I understand, because they also, to make the product, costs them an arm and a leg. But it's also like, it's almost like somebody needs to come in and be the middleman to sort of bridge the gap between small business, or in fact startups, and then small businesses, and then as we keep growing, whereas somebody's kind of coming into the ecosystem to just support and give those ladders for us to keep moving up. So I think that's just the biggest challenge, where, like, for small businesses, it's so hard for us to just while we're still trying to manufacture or come up with the product, we're already paying a lot of money. And then now access to market, you're coming with the product and it costs so much. And people are like, no, man, I'll just eat porridge. Maybe milk will come. This product is expensive. But it's like, there's no way I can cut this down, because if I do, then I'm not making any money, just purely because everything else, like from my suppliers list, is expensive, is that expensive. So for me, I find that to be challenging, because it's not supporting the South African economy, if you know what I mean. Because if it's that expensive for me to get things done, but China's saying, oh girl, come, we'll give it to you for X amount, I'm obviously going to go where I can afford to buy, and it's very tricky, because we obviously wanting to grow our economy. So I don't know, like, I just feel like there has to be something in between, or someone that bridges this gap.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's, the role that entrepreneurs who are further along on their journey, accelerators and incubators like ourselves at WOMHub, need to play a real role, because it's around, when we talk about access to market, these are the realities that you're facing as an entrepreneur starting out. But also it's about, what is that total cost of doing business, so we tend to be quite insular when we think about what do entrepreneurs need, and we name the obvious things, but the reality is that, how do we create the economic growth? How do we kind of reignite our economy, like you said, which is what we all want to do, if we've got these barriers to growth, and how do we start lobbying and driving against that? So Naomi says, such key advice and inspiring how you're developing your business and brand, Thandeka. So congrats there. But I absolutely can't believe that we are at the end of this conversation as well. And we knew it was going to fly, but it's been so incredible to talk to you. So just as we kind of rounding off now, talk to us around, you've spoken about challenges, we've spoken about progress, but what's next for Lactease? What's exciting? What's coming that we should know about?
Well, if you're in KZN, we are exhibiting at the Durban Business Fair. It's going to be in Umlazi. And just do come join us. We're there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I think what's exciting is, when you actually start speaking to people then understand what the product is about, and you get to meet us, you get to ask us questions, you get to, whatever questions you have, moms, you can come check us out. That's what we're doing. But really, we are just growing the brand. We're growing our clientele. We have clients in Johannesburg that are like, how do we get hold of this product? So we're looking into that as well, just ensuring that we have at least a place where moms can go and purchase the product. And so please be on the lookout. I would just say, if you're interested and you're in Johannesburg or Cape Town for that matter, come to our socials. We'll be, letting you know, once we get, our vendors in place, and then you will know where to go in order to get this product.
Awesome. And while you're talking about that, let our audience who are listening and watching us, let us know, how do we get hold of you? Where do we find you?
So you can just go onto our website. It's www.lactease.co.za, and then you'll find all our contact details on there. But also you'll go to our store and see like how much the product is going for. And we're currently running a special. It's literally 45% discount on our products now. And I mean, it's while stocks last. So if you have friends and that you want to bless with this product, you can just go on our website and get hold of the product there.
Fantastic. Thanks, Thandeka. That's www.lactease.co.za. That's awesome. And then as we finish off, I think just so much thanks to you for your incredible insights on the program and also on this course on this call today. And for those of you who want to get to know us better as an organization, you can reach out to www.womhub.com. And Thandeka's experience on the Economic Growth Accelerator, sadly, is coming to an end. But as she said, we're family now. And we'll be opening applications for the next round of the Economic Growth Accelerator in July. So if this sounds appealing to you, go ahead and keep a lookout on our socials for EGA too. But Thandeka, 1 minute, what words of wisdom or inspiration can you leave fellow founders or our kind of communities with as we end off?
Sure. I think always remember that the problem remains the problem until there's a solution for it. Meaning, if you're solving a real life problem, it doesn't stop being a problem just because you are facing challenges on your journey. So just keep that front of mind that, I need to keep going no matter what, because I've seen that there's a problem and this is the solution to this problem. So just keep going. Remember that the problem does not stop being a problem until there's a solution for it. So keep going. The rest of us are going. Join, apply on the Eager, apply on the Warm Up programs. They've got so many fantastic programs, guys. Just apply so you can find yourself a tribe, but also the different lessons that you can learn from them.
Fantastic. And to you, thank you so, so much. You continue to shine and being the amazing soul that you are. And we wish you every success as Lactase takes over the world. Thanks so much, Thandeka. Good night, everyone. We've come to the end of our conversation. Till next time, keep well, keep safe, and keep warm in South Africa. Thanks. Bye.